Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what part of the world you're coming in from. It's John Terry, the Black Belt Leader, and I want to say thank you for joining me for today's Black Belt Leadership Workshop, Building a High Performance Culture. I hope you'll take a few minutes to silence your cell phone, close your email, and get rid of all the distractions around you so you can pay very close attention to what we're going to be sharing in today's training. Now, this message is being recorded, so please make sure your cameras are off and your microphones are on mute so we can minimize the distractions. And in the event you have to leave early, we will be sharing this with everyone who registered for the event. Are you ready? Fantastic. Let's get started. You know, when we think about company culture is a synthesis of values, of vision, mission, and purpose. All of these sit at the center of any successful business or organization. It's that cohesive atmosphere that permeates a company and all of the team members that directly impacts and shapes the way people work within that organization. Now, culture is not something that can be fabricated when it's lacking, and no amount of company perks, no cool furniture, or no really hip employees can create culture. Culture is much more than that. It's one of the most important things to get right in order to create a high-performance, highly successful, results-oriented company. Now, a strong internal culture is necessary to create strong, lasting brands. You know, let's take a look at what it takes to get there. But for those of you that don't know me, let me take just a moment to introduce myself. My name is John Terry. I'm a two-time Martial Arts Hall of Fame inductee, a best-selling author. I'm an international speaker, coach, and trainer. I'm the founder of Black Belt Leadership. I'm a behavior intelligence coach, and I love what I do. What do? I help people learn to discover, develop, and deploy the Black Belt leader within. I teach people how to master their lives, both personally and professionally, and give you an opportunity to live a life of Black Belt excellence. So this is who I am, and I want to thank you for being here as we delve into understanding what it takes to build a high-performance culture in your organization. And really, when we think about that, it starts with what you stand for. What your company is and what it stands for is as important to your business as the products or the services that you sell. So identifying what it is that you stand for is really a core essential to how you live and how you perform as an organization. In short, it's your company values. And it's really getting to the heart of those values in your business that means everything to your business. Now, your culture incorporates your values, what I love to call those non-negotiables in life. Those things you're willing to die for that you say, I am not going to compromise in this area. You know, it's first important to identify what you stand for as an individual, as a leader, as a business owner, and as an entrepreneur. Now, why is that important? Because people do what people see. And if you are leading any type of team, any type of organization, any type of company, the people that you are leading are going to follow your lead. So taking the time to identify what you stand for as an individual, what you stand for as a business owner, as a team leader, understanding and making clear what your non-negotiables are reminds those that are following you of what your values are. And oftentimes you will see those that you're leading embrace and support and begin to also live out your values. That's step one to really building a high performance culture in your business. So when you think about it, it's really important that you clearly define your values along with your purpose, what it is you want to accomplish, what it is you want your organization to accomplish. And once you identify those, it's very, very essential that you continually and clearly articulate your vision and your purpose to the team. Now, the goal in all of this is pretty straightforward. It's to get the people that you're leading to understand the culture that you're trying to develop within your organization, to get them to embrace it, and more importantly, to get them to live it out in their interactions with themselves and with the public, so that what you say you're for and what the public sees you're for are congruent. Now, this is very, very important because people are seeing your reflection in your business. Your culture and the culture of your organization is going to be reflected in and through the people that are a part of your organization. Think about this. Businesses don't do anything. The people in the business do the work that makes the business successful or not so successful. The people that you are leading and the people that work within your company are either reflecting the culture that you're living out and modeling before them, or they're modeling their own culture, their own vision, and their own purpose for your organization, which may be at odds with what you're wanting to accomplish and the vision of how you want to be seen in the marketplace. That's important to remember in the business world. Things move fast. And things are often moving so fast, especially today, that people, especially leaders, never really stop to reflect on what their business is becoming. You know, you think back to when you were small at the beginning of building your business, how much easier it was when things were small to have those personal interactions and to live out your value with your employees. But as you've continued to grow, all of a sudden processes get in the way. And it's very easy to lose sight of the values and the purpose for which your company, your organization was created. You know, the other thing I find that's interesting is that many leaders today have this mindset that stopping to remind their employees of vision and purpose somehow breaks the workflow and it impacts performance. That's far from the truth, because as you have an opportunity to take those occasional pauses and be continually living out and reminding those that you are leading the vision of your organization, the purpose of your organization, who you are serving and why, it constantly reiterates the goals that you're trying to accomplish. It reinstills in your employees, in your staff, in your volunteers, wherever you find yourself as an organization, reminding the people of who you are and what you want to accomplish and the difference that you want to make. It's always important to remember that many businesses get caught in this continuous loop of doing the same thing they've always done and wondering why they're not getting a different outcome. Albert Einstein described that as the very definition of insanity. But because you don't take time to pause and continually go back and revisit your vision and your purpose, vision and purpose can oftentimes get offline and can get out of course. A 1-degree separation in an airplane from the true direction on a compass can take you miles from the direction that you wanted to go. And the same is true with your vision and your purpose. If you're not continually living that out and continually reminding the team daily, weekly, monthly, yearly of who you are, what you stand for, and what your purpose is, here's what happens. You end up making the same mistakes over and over again, working blind to the change and the evolution that may be taking place as people's own values and purpose take over those when the vision and purpose of the business begins to fade from the current mindset of those that are involved. And before you know it, your business that you started to make a difference in a unique and specific area has morphed into something that you never intended it to be. Your organization and culture must be modeled by you, and it must be modeled by your team, or your business becomes something other than what you intended. Now, a company shift from performance to purpose can make all of the difference in how your people are hired, how your people work individually and corporately as a group, and how the company performs. This is a significant difference between mediocre, lackluster organizations and high-performance companies that get things done and scale at a very high level. They have transitioned away from a focus on performance to a focus on purpose in everything that they do. Purpose permeates every aspect of their business model. And as people buy into purpose, they serve your end user customer with purpose, which is something unique in the business world today. And when you serve your customer with purpose, you're serving at a high performance level. Your customers value that, they desire that, and they keep coming back. But in addition to that, they become an unpaid sales staff for you, telling other people about the unique value adds of working with a company whose purpose is forefront in everything they do. So it's important that you look not just at what your company does and what it doesn't do, but also to look at what it is there for. What is your company there for as a purpose, as a vision, as an objective, and as a goal to make a difference? Now, it's important to remember you can have a culture either by design or by default. One of the two is going to happen in your business. Either you define the culture that you want your organization to live out and you clearly articulate it to others, or you're going to allow those on your team to define for themselves what they believe the culture of your organization is. And it becomes a mismatched mess of different values and cultures, all trying to coalesce together. And like oil and water, it doesn't mix. You know, Jeff Henderson is the author of the book For, an valuable book I encourage you to read. But Jeff in the book asked two questions of a business owner. And this is something high-performance teams understand and they utilize in looking at their vision, their purpose, and how they're training their team not to be performance-focused, but to be purpose-driven. Jess asked this question. Number one, what do you want to be known for? What do you want your organization to be known for? And then the second most valuable question is, what do others, what does the public say that you're known for? Now, until those two align, until what you are known for, your purpose, is being lived out by those on your team in their interactions with your end user customer, there's a disconnect. And when there is a disconnect, you are not performing as a high performance team. You can identify by answering those two questions, and if there's a gap, that indicates there is a gap in your culture. And values that you embrace are not being clearly articulated and not being clearly lived out by those on your team. As a result of that, performance suffers. And when performance suffers, profits dwindle. And nobody wants to see that. Now, at the heart of the matter is one thing, and that's finding your company's why. Simon Sinek talks about that in his book, Start with Why. Understanding your why allows you to identify what your values are. When you understand what your purpose is, your why, now you can begin to truly define the values that you, your organization, and those on your team want to be known for as they interact with their end user customers. Now, values are at the heart of every decision that we make. Those non-negotiables in our lives, they influence our behavior and our attitude. So think about this. When a company has defined values, that company can attract the right people who will align with the values that you want espoused through your organization and in your interactions with your customers. And it allows you to identify the people who are positive, who are committed, and who are going to be energized by the work that you are doing, the purpose that you are trying to live out, because they want to be part of an organization that matters. Ultimately, if you focus on values and identifying people who share your values and have a passion for your why, your purpose of what you're called to do, you create a culture-breeding chain reaction that filters right down to impacting the customer in an amazing way. Now, why is that? Because values help build the culture of your team. And the culture of your team is going to dictate how they live out the culture with your end user customer. Your culture is going to motivate your employees to make a difference and to live out your purpose as they interact with the people that become involved with your business. And when you've got an employee that is motivated, this is a significant driving factor for customer satisfaction, because a motivated employee who wants to live out your purpose is going to make sure that their interactions with your customers is in congruence with your values, your purpose, and your goals and objectives for making a difference. And when you've got satisfied customers, they keep coming back. They tell your story to their friends, their family, their neighbors, and their coworkers. And all of a sudden, you've got an unpaid sales team of raving fans inviting people to come experience the uniqueness of a values-focused high-performance team. Really, when your people know what you want to be known for, they can work with your customers so that your customers experience what you want to be known for. This is how you become known in the marketplace. This is how, as Jeff Henderson says, you're what you're for and what you're known for align, and that's when something amazing happens. Now, culture drives performance. Why? The culture of a company, as we've already said, is a reflection of its values. It's your culture in a high-performance organization that's responsible for bringing out the best in every single member of the team. And when you can bring out the best of every single member on the team, and you can position them to individually see success in whatever role they're playing in your organization, now the entire output of your organization up levels. You go from mediocre to average performance, to above average performance, to superior performance, to that high performance top 5% status that allows you to stand out in the crowd. When we think about culture driving performance, remember a strong culture where people are motivated, they are equipped, and they are empowered to make a difference. Now you create an environment for better job retention. Because if your employees have a sense of belonging, they feel like they are part of an organization where they are valued, and together each and every person's mutual talents are driving the purpose of the organization, they're more apt to want to stay because they believe in what this business is trying to do. Now, culture is also checks and balances. And when your hiring is based on your values, what you as a company believe, and you are looking for people that want to support your purpose and your why, you're going to use your culture as a means to hire those individuals who have the skill set that you're looking for, but also embrace the vision of who you are and what you want to be seen as in the marketplace. You can then tailor the appropriate training to foster that company culture so that it permeates from everything they say and do, both internally within the team and externally in the customer marketplace. Now, a strong culture is also created by the energy and the motivation of having those team members who feel valued, who feel like they are making an individual and a corporate contribution to the greater good. That they're not just delivering a great product or a great service, they are making a difference, and a positive difference in the lives of the customers that they engage with. When your employees want to make a difference, just like you want to make a difference, they are going to make a positive impact with your customer by making a difference in their lives. That's how culture creates a high-performance workplace. Now, performance is a result of all of the things we've talked about up to this point. And if you employ people and empower people in your organization who are excited about what you do, who believe in what you do, and recognize who they are actually serving as an end user customer, guess what? Everyone on the team is going to experience higher performance rates, both individually and corporately, because everybody on the team is working for one purpose, one goal, and one objective: to serve the customer, to add value to them, and ultimately to create a positive difference as a result of them engaging with you. So the question is, John, how do you create that culture in an organization? Well, one challenge when looking at how you create a high performance company culture is really thinking about the ingrained behaviors and processes that you've already brought into the organization that may need to be tweaked or changed or done away with altogether. We are all creatures of habit, and we love the status quo. Carly Fiorina, who authored the book, and I just slipped the name of the book from my mind, Carly Fiorina made an amazing statement. She made a statement that said, the status quo has great power, but leaders challenge the status quo to change things for the better. The name of Carly's book, Find Your Way. I knew it'd come to me. Find Your Way. Carly says in that book, the status quo has great power, but leaders challenge the status quo to change things for the better. Now, since we're all creatures of habit and we all love the status quo, we all won't change as long as we don't have to change. But sometimes we have to stop and make change in our organization even when we don't want to, getting rid of the things that have worked okay, but maybe could work better. Because it's when we go from good to great by looking at what we do and making those changes, positive changes in the business model, that we have the opportunity to scale our business model from mediocre and average to great, and to really become one of those high performance, values-focused organizations that succeeds at a very high level. Now, for a leader to cultivate change in an organization, that leader has to be inspirational, because the leader has to speak to, this is where we are now. This is where we have drifted from the original purpose, and I want to bring us back to where we want to go. And maybe it's a complete change in purpose. Maybe you've had one of those epiphany moments that all of a sudden you've realized you want to be known for something in your community. And as a result of that, you've got to become, as a leader, the cheerleader for the team, motivating, encouraging, and inspiring those you're following to pick up the pom-poms and cheer right alongside with you. Now, as you're talking about change, any proposed changes you're going to be making to a status quo relationship, you're going to get some pushback because people are resistant to change. Now, to make sure that you get the best adoption of these early on, you need to make sure that you're going to be very clear and very concise in what you're looking to create in terms of a change in your culture. You need to not only share what you're going to be changing and what that's going to look like from a day-to-day perspective, but also the picture of your future self as an organization. That as you make these changes individually and corporately, here's how our perception is going to change for the better. Here's how we're going to serve our end user customer in a better and more distinct and a unique way that allows us to stand out in the crowd. That's why sharing your why with your team is so important, especially as you're discussing any changes or bringing new processes into your business to help you achieve your why. When people understand what you're for and why you're for it, and ultimately how it's going to benefit your end user customer that you're serving, they feel like they are valued. They feel like you've taken the time to explain to them the moral reason why. And you're going to see adoption of these new changes to become much easier and much more prevalent across the organization. When they see the desired outcome that you are trying to achieve for the customer, and at the end of the day, how it helps the organization see a greater level of success, it helps them individually see a greater level of success, and how the improved profitability also gives them an opportunity to share in that increased revenue stream. That's a win-win-win across the board. Now, keep in mind, you want change to be subtle. If you have sudden, drastic change, that can often be perceived as a negative. And if it's needed, it's needed. But you've got to take the time to explain the reason why as you're looking at making any change. Now, also important, as a leader, don't attack the past. You can talk about, this is what we've done, and share the success stories of how it's gotten you to a specific level of achievement or production or status in the industry. But to go from being on the B team to the A team, or to go from being average and mediocre to becoming an expert, to truly being world class, these are the changes that we need to make to continue to grow as an organization. Don't present it as an attack on where you are or where you've come from. Celebrate the successes along the way, but show them the bridge to the future version of the business and the outcomes that you want to see accomplished as you bring this new values-focused, high-performance mindset into the business. The team has to see that they are going to be an essential part of bringing about the change in culture necessary to up-level the results for them and ultimately the end user customer that they serve. And if you do this well, inspirationally, giving them a vision for the future and how they too are going to profit, you're going to find culture much easier to adapt and move into that world-class status. Now, what have we really been talking about? The power of communication. In a high-performance culture, if we look at any organization that is performing at a very high level, there is open, fluid lines of communication going up and down and within the organization. In high-performance organizations, the flow of information is constant and it's free, from the top leadership all the way down to the entry-level worker, and it goes back up the chain just as easy as it goes down. High-performance teams understand that everyone at every level needs to be included in the conversation, and everyone on the team needs to have an opportunity to be heard. An open line of communication is not just important, it is absolutely mission critical for a dynamic team environment, not just to survive, but to thrive and to really achieve that top 5% status in your niche in the marketplace. And don't forget, an informed employee feels valued, and a valuable employee becomes an amazing cheerleader. They become an ambassador. They become a walking, talking, raving fan for your why, your purpose, and your desire. You know, I love the company Zappos. When you look at Zappos, when you call Zappos, it's not about the products that they sell. It's about the experience that their customers have. And they have an amazing process in their system that customer satisfaction and customer fulfillment is the most important thing in their business. It's one of their KPIs that they measure, and they uniquely measure it, but it's the ability to communicate the wins and to celebrate the wins along the way that have made them an incredible organization. Now, as a leader, it's important to remember that communication has to be a priority at every level of your organization. And to ensure that the messages are getting out and are being communicated clearly and are being understood in the same manner at which they are being communicated, you need to make sure and ask yourself some key questions. Number one, has everyone on the team been informed about this particular topic? Number two, is the information being shared understood as it was intended to be understood? And then number three, has the information been received and acted upon so that we've built a stronger team and we've improved what we are doing for the better for the end user customer that we serve? That is the power of effective communication in growing an organization. Now, it's also important to remember that an informed employee, someone who feels like that they are an integral part of the sharing of the communication flow up and down, they are more likely to be engaged with the process. Because when you take the time to communicate what you are seeking to accomplish and the why behind what you're seeking to accomplish, your employees become much more committed to helping you and the organization achieve a greater level of results in their interaction in the process. Now, transparency is also very, very important. It's a key ingredient to having a high performance culture in your business. As an example, withholding some of the basics of your company's financial status is not an option. It's not an informed way to run your business. Providing transparency as to how the company is performing builds trust with the team, but at the same time, it keeps them informed and connected so that they can see that the work they are doing relates to the big picture. If you're under your sales quota for the month and you share that with the team and you challenge the team to step up to the cause, if they know your goal and they know your objective and they know that you're trying to serve the customer with integrity and you're running a little bit behind, they're going to take that extra step to help you meet those goals. If you're ahead of your goals and you're ahead of your numbers for the month, celebrate that with your team. Let them know where they are so that they don't ease off on the gas pedal. They keep going, and challenge them to go beyond the numbers to reach an even greater number so that you can have an opportunity to again celebrate those successes along the way. But think about this. If your company members, your team members, are left in the dark as to how your company's doing, how in the world can you expect them to make a sudden, dramatic improvement when there's an adverse situation taking place in the business? But when you're sharing with them the good, the bad, and the ugly, then you have an opportunity to celebrate the wins. You have an opportunity to go back and look at the bads and what happened that created that bad moment in your organization. And when things are just plain old ugly and it's not working according to plan, transparency and those open lines of communication oftentimes can find a solution that may have been overlooked up to this point, and a team member in a very obscure role may see something nobody else has seen that allows the company to pivot and make a change that turns ugly into absolutely beautiful. You know, another important aspect of sharing the company's numbers is it gives the employees a sense of ownership. When you speak to your employees and you let them know this is where we are as a company, they feel like they are valued enough that you are sharing, in their opinion, what is often in most companies been insider information. And when they know the company is profitable and doing well, it adds to their confidence that this is a company I want to continue to be a part of. And if they know the company is struggling, and they believe in the vision and purpose, and they believe in the leadership behind the vision and the purpose, they will tighten the belt, they will buckle down, and they will work even harder to help the company work through those tough times. That's just so important in your business of creating and building that high performance culture. So one of the goals that we recommend in organizations is to create transparency as a means to continually build rapport among leadership and those that they're leading on the team. Having regular meetings, whether they're monthly or quarterly, to share some basic high-level aspects of how you're doing as a company, what your goals and objectives are for each quarter, and where you stand in that process allows the team members to, again, feel like that they are an integral and valuable member of the team, and they appreciate the fact that you're taking time to do that. Now, here is a significant key to building a high-performance culture in your organization, and that's nurturing the individuals on the team and playing to their strengths. We've talked up to this point about engaging team members and letting them know that they are valued. Now, when you do that, the majority of people not only enjoy being on the team, they want to stay on the team and they want to be invested in the company's future. But if we think of the future as the big picture of where the company is going and wants to go, how do you get the team members to stay engaged so that they have an opportunity to grow and to go beyond what they're currently capable of doing? The goal here is to move beyond a performance mindset, just looking at numbers and looking at how they're performing today, but helping each employee see the critical role that they play in your organization. Each individual on the team has a unique role that is crucial to your organization's success or failure. And each organization is only as strong as the weakest link of the weakest team member on the team. High performance organizations understand their most important asset is their employees, and they invest regularly in the personal growth and development of their employees because they know that as they invest in their individual team members' personal growth and development, they create a better version of each and every member of the team. And as each team member becomes a better version of himself or herself, all of a sudden their ability to perform at a higher level is revealed to them. And they step into that new role and they begin to perform at a higher level. And when every member on the team is continually invested in and grown both personally and professionally, as a result of that, you have an opportunity to scale your business in a way up to this point you may have never scaled your organization. High performance organizations realize that they are in the business of developing people because they understand that the business itself does nothing. It's the people within the business that drives the success of the organization. So making your employees intentional about growth comes from the leadership investing in the personal growth of their team members. If you haven't conducted a human behavior intelligence assessment of the team, that's mission critical number one, because you need to be able to identify the strengths of your team members, how they communicate, and their compatibility with other team members so you can get every member of the team playing the right position on the team. Just like an NFL team or an NBA team, any sports team has individuals that play in their unique strength. A linebacker has a unique set of strengths. A quarterback has a unique set of strengths. A wide receiver has a separate set of strengths. A center or a forward or a guard in the NBA all have a different set of strengths, but they have learned how to complement each other because someone has taken the time to identify their strengths, their communication style, and how they have an opportunity to work together as a team. Now, as a leader, you need to understand who is on your team. And I don't just mean by names, I mean by their strengths, by their communication style, and their compatibility in working with others. When you understand this, you can put the people on your team in a position that plays to their strength. And when you get the right people in the right position on your team and you come out of the huddle and you line up over that football to take the snap and to move the ball down the field, everybody executes at a world-class level because you've got them in a position that they are truly world-class. And you've got the coaches in place with the training and the personal and professional development resources to grow them so that they are truly performing at that high-performance world-class level that you desire. Now, think about this. When you get the right people and you support them with the right type of training, you continually grow and nurture your team members. What are you doing? You are up-leveling their ability to not only lead themselves and to lead those around them, they can help lead the organization to fulfilling its purpose and its mission in the marketplace. Leveraging the individual strength of each team member lets you scale the overall success of the organization. Because when every team member is performing at the highest possible level of their capabilities and continually growing and becoming a better version of themselves, all of a sudden your business begins to scale in a way that it's never scaled before. Now, I love a statement Truett Cathy said. He was asked, how long should you invest in your people and how long should you encourage and inspire and continue to grow your people? And Truett Cathy, who was the founder of Chick-fil-A, said, as long as people are breathing, they need to be encouraged, appreciated, inspired, and grown. I think for any organization, that's a great topic to think about. As long as the individuals on your team are breathing, they need you to be encouraging, to be appreciating, to be inspiring, and challenging them to continue to grow and to become a better version of themselves. High-performance organizations make this a part of their culture in recognizing and celebrating success in creating a growth-oriented environment where individual team members can blossom and grow into all that they were created to be. It's the opportunity to help them discover, develop, and deploy that black belt leader within themselves in whatever area they have an opportunity to lead themselves or others or both within your organization. High-powered organizations are sustained by high-powered individual employees and team members, all driving that singular purpose of understanding what you're for and making sure that that's what you're known for in your interactions with the public. Now, motivation is key to this. And when you're considering your company's purpose and performance as a whole, it's important to look at motivation. Now, regardless of how long they've been with you or the role that they play in your organization, every team member should be so indoctrinated into your company's culture they can articulate the work they do and how that work plays into the broader company picture. That overarching why of what you do as an organization. Now, each employee needs to understand the importance of their work and how it fits into the greater good of what you as an organization are trying to accomplish, the difference you're trying to make, the purpose that you have established this business for. A high-performance culture happens when each individual team member is clear that the work that they're doing fits into the overall scope of what everyone else is doing and how corporately that serves the end user customer that you're serving. For example, a maintenance crew that takes care of the canning machinery and keeps it at peak operating efficiency so those who actually run the machinery can create enough inventory for those who package and ship the orders to a retail grocer so that at the end of the day, a customer can purchase the food necessary to feed their family. Everyone in that process serves a mission-critical role in getting the food to the customer so the customer can feed their loved ones. That is the power of a values-centered, high-performance organization, understanding that each role is mission-critical in achieving the overall goal of your why. Now, as we think about who we are and what we're doing, it's important that we celebrate success along the way. We've talked about that multiple times through our time together today. Making sure that your team is not only informed and motivated, but you need to also celebrate those milestones along the way. One way to keep culture alive and to keep a motivated high-performance team continually moving forward is to take a pause and to celebrate the successes as they happen. If a team member accomplishes something new for the first time, celebrate that success. If a team within the organization breaks a record, achieves a record, or comes up with something new and innovative, celebrate those successes. When the organization hits a goal or achieves a goal or surpasses the objective or goals for that month or that quarter, celebrate that as an organization. Offer a small bonus, a gift card, a prize, have a family picnic, a game day, bring barbecue in, feed the whole organization. Create special awards, give out certificates, patches, fun, innovative things that keep some fun and entertainment and joy, but allows you to celebrate the successes of the team. Success that is reinforced and rewarded continues to be replicated in business. You know, think back to the time that you were a child. If you did something that your parents appreciated, they rewarded you for that because they wanted that behavior to continue. As a leader in an organization, we're just big kids working on your team. Reward our success as employees, and we'll continue to drive success so that we can be recognized and celebrated. It's great for the ego, it's great for esteem, and it's great for building rapport, and celebrating success leads to more success. Now, employee engagement is something that's very, very critical to what you do as an organization, because team members who are engaged put energy and excitement into the work that they create. And if you want to build a strong company culture and either maintain or hire a team who is for you, who is for your company and for your customer, to borrow a phrase from Jeff Henderson's book, you've got to engage and stay engaged with your employees. Now, culture is a collective concept, and it's produced by small groups of people sharing ideas and concepts and be constantly reminded of the value and culture in which they live. What brings the company together and how it performs is really the heart of the culture of the organization. It's not just the leader saying, do this. When companies are engaged and they are engaging with their employees and everybody buys in to the purpose and the value that this company wants to bring to the marketplace, amazing things happen. Now, again, remember, businesses don't produce anything, people do. And high performance organizations understand this, and they are continually engaging and investing in their people to continue high payment results. Now, your payment structure is important, and choosing how you compensate your team in a very transparent way is important in a high performance culture. Now, you don't have to be open with your compensation sharing so that everybody knows what everybody else is making. That may not be the appropriate model for your business, but giving each employee a clear idea of what your structure looks like and how their contribution plays into the overall success of the organization and how their future compensation is tied to that success is mission critical to building a high performance team. That's why incentive-based compensation can be a very valuable tool in creating a high performance culture. Because as people understand, as the company does better, they as individuals share in that success. They stay motivated and they perform at a higher level because they know that their future raises are tied to the overall success of the organization. Now, it's also important that you find the right personality fit. And as you think about your company, your values, and your purpose, it's also important to make sure that when you're hiring someone, you're hiring the right person for the right job that has the right skill set, that believes in what you do, but is also going to be compatible with those on your team. Personality profiling systems, or what I like to call human behavior intelligence assessments, are an amazing way to be able to understand at a higher level the people on your team and the people that you're going to hire. So whether you're testing your current employees, which I highly recommend, so that you can make sure that you've got them in the right position on the team, or you're looking to hire a new employee to fill a specific description, knowing whether or not their mind communicates and thinks in such a way that they are a right fit and that they have the skill set for that job is something that's very, very important to getting the right team member on the right position on the team. One of the tools that we use here at Black Belt Leadership is a program called Real Life Management. Now, Real Life Management is a behavioral assessment tool. It's what I believe one of the more accurate assessment tests that assesses human behavior in the marketplace today. Now, why would I want to use a tool like Real Life Management or some of the others I'll share in just a minute? Think about this. If in 3 minutes or less, you can assess an employee or a prospective employee's perception and judgment, as well as how they're going to react under stress or distress, and whether or not their communication style and the lens through which they view the world is going to be consistent and compatible with your values and your goals and objectives as an organization, and whether or not they're going to be able to work with the others on your team, would that be a valuable consideration that you need to know as you're thinking about hiring a team member or maybe repositioning people in the organization to work in different areas of your business? That's one of the tools that Real Life Management can allow you to do, is understanding at a deeper level who the people are on the team and those you may be considering as a hire for your organization. So using a tool like Real Life Management can help you make informed decisions about who you're going to hire, how you're going to build your teams within your organization, or how you may want to assign roles or consider internal promotions within an organization. Now, there are other tools that are out there that you could use as well. At Black Belt Leadership, we're also certified in the DISC Personality Profile System. Again, another unique tool like Real Life Management that we can use to understand whether or not people are task-oriented or they're people-oriented, whether they're much more outgoing or much more reserved. whether they have a dominant personality or they're one that can influence others, whether they're one of those steady, predictable people that you can count on for specific roles, or whether they're going to be someone that's very compliant. All of that plays in to understanding who individuals are. Now, there's a number of other personality tests out there. There's EQI, Myers-Briggs, the color test, the animal test, lots of different programs out there. We use two that we believe allow us to best assess and understand the individuals on your team and how best to utilize them to create a high-performance environment. Now, as we move towards wrapping up, I want to mention just real quickly, it's important as a high-performance team that not only do you celebrate your successes, you embrace your failures. Darren Hardy, the founder of Success Magazine, says the most successful businesses fail early, fail often, and they fail forward. You know, I laugh when I think about Thomas Edison when he was asked about inventing the light bulb and all the failures that he experienced along the way to creating an incandescent lamp that's really become a mainstay of society well over 100 years later. And Thomas Edison jokingly said, during his travail in creating the incandescent lamp, he discovered over 1,000 ways not to invent the light bulb. Now, every business has experienced a product, an employee, or a service failure. We've all had those. It comes with the territory, but taking the time to learn from our failures allows us to grow. And one of the best ways we can cultivate our high-performance culture is to openly address our failures, admit them, and to seek feedback from the organization of the lessons learned and how we can improve. You know, leadership guru John Maxwell says the best teacher is not experience, but it is evaluated experience. When we look at those failures, or as John says, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. When you embrace failure as a learning experience, you have an opportunity to grow in a unique way. Failure can lead to more failure unless you're willing to learn what caused the failure in the first place. And how many organizations see a failure and without learning the lessons, they just continue to move forward and they find themselves driving in a circle, going through the same pothole over and over again, rather than taking a left turn or a right turn and going down a different road. And that leads to asking for feedback. One of the most important things that we see in high-performance teams is being able to seek feedback from every member of the team. Asking each and every employee, team member, volunteer, whatever they may be, to give you their feedback, especially in times of failure, is a very constructive way to reflect, to grow, and to succeed as an organization. Now, it's important to remember that those who are closest to the problem are usually in the best position to give you a solution to solve it. But oftentimes we see organizations, especially mediocre, average organizations, that want to micromanage every decision. And they don't give team members the autonomy and the ability to make some decisions that are closer to where the rubber meets the road, if you want to think of the old saying. Because the team members that are closest to where failures occur oftentimes see, well, if we would have done this, that would not have happened, and we would not experience this failure, where a leader 2 or 3 levels removed doesn't have that knowledge and expertise. That's why the value of open communication, both up and down, can create these high-performance environments that from some obscure person in the organization may have a brilliant idea that allows you to scale your organization. So how do you seek feedback? You can do that at annual reviews. You can do that at quarterly meetings, at regular team meetings, or in the moment. Many high-performance, world-class, top 5% organizations have an open-door policy that anybody in the organization at any point in time can meet with a member of the leadership team to share ideas, thoughts, and give feedback. As long as they have the ability to do that, they know that they are valued. They understand that feedback is just that. It's feedback. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the leaders are going to make a decision that's in the best interest of the organization. And if you've got a high-performance team that is committed to your why, your purpose, the feedback you're going to get from every team member 99% of the time is going to be focused on doing just that. Now, if you follow these steps up to this point that we've shared in this time that we've been together, let me say that if you're doing all of the things we've talked about, you're off to a great start of building a high performance culture. If you follow the outline that we've given you and the steps that we've shared in this hour that we've been together, you're well on your way to creating a high performance culture of values focused, people centric, non leader dependent organization that simply get things done at a higher level than other organizations that don't. And if you truly want to become a world class black belt leader in your field, whatever field that you may be in, you've got to cultivate that high performance culture within your organization. And it starts with you as a leader. You've got to define who you are, what you are for, what your values and your cultures are, and what you want to be known for as a business, and then take it forward from there. Now, remember, if you're not intentional about designing the culture that you want lived out in your organization, culture is going to happen by default, and it may not be to your liking. And if your culture is not driving the results that you want, then you've got to take the time to reinstill values and culture in your organization. It's perhaps one of the best timeouts that you can ever take in the game of life that you're playing. Now, remember that your culture defines how you want to be seen in the marketplace, and it challenges those on the team to live out your purpose, your why, in their interactions with your end user customer. Because when they understand how you want to be perceived in the marketplace and how you want to make a difference in the lives of your end user customer, they're very much committed to making that happen. And when everybody on the team is committed to making that happen, you go from being mediocre to standing out in the crowd. And if you want some help in implementing a high performance culture or creating a personal or professional training program for your team, that's what we do here at Black Belt Leadership. So I hope you found the time that we've taken beneficial in understanding some ways that you can build a high performance culture in your organization. So let me leave you with a parting gift, some recommended reading as we wrap up today. You know, there's some books that I would recommend. One of those is my own book, Black Belt Leadership 101, The 10 Essential Qualities of Being a Black Belt Leader in Life, where many of the things that we talked about today in creating a high-performance culture, I share in the chapters of that book. I mentioned earlier Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. It's available on Amazon, as is my book, an amazing book on helping you understand how to build an organization around your why and your purpose. I've referenced Jeff Henderson's book, FOR, F-O-R, several times in this presentation today. Another incredible read, also available on Amazon. And lastly, if you want to learn more about real-life management, you can pick up the author Wayne Nance's book, The 3-Minute Difference. You'll find that on Amazon as well. So again, let me say thanks for asking you to join us today for this particular event that we've been involved with. And if you'd like to learn more about how you can connect with us and have an opportunity to engage with our organization, our contact information is here. Don't forget to visit our website and sign up for our free Black Belt Leadership Insights delivered weekly to your inbox. Now, we just launched our Be a Black Belt Leader podcast on Anchor, so be sure and check that out, anchor.fm/Be a Black Belt Leader. You can subscribe to that podcast channel, and every week we're sharing a new episode on leadership, personal growth, and development. You're welcome to share with your team as well. And lastly, we're on all the major social media channels, so make sure you find us there. Follow us there because we daily are sharing personal and professional growth, insights, tips, thoughts, and ideas to help you scale those in your organization. And lastly, if you're interested in having a further conversation about how we can help you implement any of the things that we talked about today, or to discuss training or coaching needs within your organization or for you personally as an executive, please feel free to reach out to our office today. My contact information appears on the screen, and it's been my privilege to spend the last hour with you, helping you understand how to create a high-performance culture in your organization. I'm John Terry, the Black Belt Leader. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day.